Let it go. Let it roll right off your shoulder, don't you know? The hardest part is over, let it in. Let your clarity define you in the end. We will only just remember how it feels. Our lives are made in these small hours, these little wonders, these twists and turns of fate. Time falls away, but these small hours, these small hours still remain. Let it slide. Let your troubles fall behind you. Let it shine till you feel it all around you. And I don't mind if it's me you need to turn to. We'll get by. It's the heart that really matters in the end. Our lives are made in these small hours, these little wonders, these twists and turns of fate. Time falls away, but these small hours, these small hours still remain. All of my regret will wash away somehow, but I cannot forget the way I feel right now. In these small hours, these little wonders, these twists and turns of fate. Yeah, these twists and turns of fate. Time falls away. Yeah, but these small hours, these small hours still remain. Oh, they still remain. These little wonders, oh, these twists and turns of fate. Time falls away, but these small hours, these little wonders still remain.
Kimberly Michelle Strover was a twin. She was twin B, meaning that she was the smaller of the two. And always a very easy baby from the beginning. Didn't cry a whole lot, liked to be held, liked to eat, liked to cuddle. When she was small, it was all about food and cuddling. She was really easy. It got harder when her teeth started coming in, because it was quite painful. That was rough, and that was probably started getting teeth kind of early. I'd say 7-8 months, and so there was a lot of crying then. But she was easily, excuse me, pacified with a little binky or numbing things, or just holding on to her. She was good. Always been a joyful, happy person, fun, kind of sassy. She would, run through the house and crawl through the house and play with her sister and have a good time. So, and then even as she got older, easy to get along with, happy natured. She went into daycare without any problems. She started daycare when she was probably 2. I had her till she was 2, and then I went back to school. So she was in in-home daycare and was easy, was happy to be around other kids and do other things, and she was fine. For me, I believe in communicating to your child, talking to them from the beginning, when they were first born, right, until, however, Christina Kimberly responded very much to simple verbal cues. They were so very, very easy and good-natured. I hardly ever got in trouble. All I had to do was kind of look at them crooked, and they would stop, and they would cry if they thought they were in any kind of trouble, and they didn't like that. So they were very well-behaved. I do, they did on occasion, misbehave, and I remember the only one time in their life that I remember them actually physically battling. They were about 1.5 years, and I don't know somebody had somebody in the corner by the door and just clobbering her like crazy, or fist fighting. That was only the one time, though. I think they aren't physical people, physically people. They talk, and they would argue occasionally, maybe a couple of disagreements over some Barbies or Elmo or however, but verbal cues really were all they needed to be corrected. So, just distraction, changing the scenery, or separating them. They didn't care to be separated, so maybe that goes again part of the attachment factor. The biggest punishment that I could do to them would be to separate them, make one sit on the other side of the room and the other on the far side, and you can't talk to each other. You have to face the other direction. It was like torture for them. They did not enjoy that, but I didn't have to do it very often again because they were so very easy. Because Kim is a twin, she always had her sister around, and I think that makes a difference in attachments. I don't recall her having very much kind of stranger danger, because we passed her around a lot. I had a lot of help, a lot of people coming to the house helping me. So she was used to being around a lot of people, so it didn't bother her when friends would come over and try to hold her when she was little. As long as Christine was around, the two of them seemed to find comfort in each other. But I remember too, when they were babies, I was wondering how long would it take them to actually acknowledge each other. And I think that's an attachment thing with twins, right? But I think it was probably 4 or 5 months of age before they actually really, to my knowledge, looked at each other and noticed each other. I mean, I think, in utero, I'm sure that they knew that there was somebody else there, but I don't know if they really looked at each other as separate individuals until they were 4 or 5 months old. And it was really cute, because they were always together touching each other, right? I always had them in the same crib, in the same playpen, everything was the same, so they're always near each other. But again, I don't think they really started playing together. Maybe that's what I'm saying, started playing together till 5, 6 months old. As far as, me, it's different, right? So they have a younger brother, and I remember he would have a fit, right, if I would leave the room. I don't recall Christina Kimberly doing that. I think as long as they could see their twin there, they were fine. And I remember Barney was my best friend, right? If I had them in front of Barney, then I could go run and do the dishes or use the restroom or whatever. They were together, and so they didn't have a whole lot of separation issues. They were very easy, both of them. Kim, again, is the happy, fun, spunky little thing. She still is. Okay, so I have 3 children. Christine is the oldest, then Kimberly, and then Brendan. And differences across the 3. You know, Christine and Kimberly are twins, right, of course, and they're similar. So I would say that Kim's sitting there looking at me. I would say that Christine is one of the nicest people that I have known in my life, right? And Kimberly is also very nice, but Kimberly's got some spunk and some attitude. So she has the, if one of them's going to have a wild child, it's going to be my Kimberly's more of a wild child than my Christine. But their brother Brendan has been more work and more, almost everything, compared to both of his sisters together. He's been more challenging and active and crazy. But all 3 very, very smart.